Okay, since my rant sucked, why don't you take a swing at it?
Your rant was not bad. This is Kelly's rant.
Kelly's rant. Let's do it.
Pull up that first one.
Okay,
Do you recognize this woman?
Oh, wrong link. Oh.
That wasn't my Tinder date from last night. Wish it was, though. But
No,
do you recognize her?
I don't recognize her. She's
very pretty.
She looks like she lives in Fairview.
Highland Park, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Her name's Shelley Luther.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell for you?
Nope. Martin Luther's...
Shelley Luther is the owner of the Salon a la Mode.
Oh, yes.
For you that don't know her, she was sentenced to 7 days in jail and a $7,000 fine for opening her salon despite the stay-at-home order from Governor Greg Abbott and the state and county's orders to close all non-essential business. She said, screw it.
Yeah.
Luther reopened her salon the next day, which had been closed since March 22nd. And on April 24th, this is all 2020. This is like right in the crux
I remember
of
this.
coronavirus. Yeah. She received a citation from the police.
And then she ripped it.
The next day, April 25th, Luther attended a protest up at Frisco City Hall where she publicly tore up the cease and desist letter, receiving nationwide coverage.
Sorry to bust your bubble on that one.
Oh, you're good. So Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, 10 days later, she was sentenced to 10 days after she ripped it up, they came and got her.
Wow.
Sentenced her to 7 days in jail and fined her $7,000. Dallas County Judge Eric V. Moyé, got a little accent mark on there, found her to be criminally and civilly in contempt of court and said that reopening her salon was a selfish act. The judge told her that she could avoid jail time if she closed her salon and apologized for her actions.
Screw that.
Screw it.
Nice.
I like this lady.
Hey,
all right.
Shout out. What's her? Shelley Luther?
Shelley Luther.
Okay.
So she said, no.
Yeah.
Luther responded that she could not comply with the order and would not apologize. She said, quote, I have to disagree with you, sir, when you say that I'm selfish because feeding my kids is not selfish. So, sir, if you think the law is more important than feeding my kids, please go ahead. And she was immediately taken into custody.
Wow. What a baller, dude.
So, update.
Oh, okay.
2 days later, May 7th,
2020.
Abbott's like, that's not why I put this order in.
Right.
Abbott, who put the...
Right.
It's like, you're done. Get out.
So she
pardoned her.
So she was only in jail for 2
days.
2 days?
Yeah. So Luther was released from jail following Governor Abbott's COVID-19 executive order amendment.
That's cool.
The amendment eliminated confinement as a punishment for violating the order.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. In a statement about the amendment, Abbott said, throwing Texans in jail who have had their businesses shut down through no fault of their own is nonsensical, and I will not allow it to happen. As some county judges advocate, I think he was speaking directly to Judge Clay Jenkins. If you know, anyways. Dallas County judge is an idiot. Anyways, judges advocate for releasing hardened criminals from jail. So they're throwing this chick in jail, and they're letting hardened criminals out.
Right, because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
And Abbott said it's absurd to have these business owners take their place. So, what's up with Shelley Luther? Besides hitting me up on my DMs on Tinder,
I'm going to say she's running for some form of council.
she ran for office, Texas State Senate. And she was she teamed up with, what's the one I do?
Yeah.
God, I listen to his podcast.
I think about him all the time.
Yeah.
When I'm sleeping.
Anyways, she's obviously a pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she ran for office in a special election for Texas State Senate District 30 on September 29th, 2020.
Okay.
She won the primary out of the 6 candidates, but she only won by a mere 155 votes over Drew Springer.
Okay.
Which means you have to go to a runoff between the top 2 candidates. Well, on December 19th, Drew Springer beat her by 56.5% to 43.5%. So
okay.
That's the end of Shelley Luther.
Oh.
So we thought...
Dun, dun, dun!
Fast forward, she's now running for Texas State House of Representatives for District 62.
House of Representing,
District 62 up in Sherman. and the election will be held on March 1st, 2022.
Okay, cool.
So why are we talking about her?
Because we like her.
Let's read some of her tweets.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
It's all right. I'll allow it. It's okay. Anyways, very, very attractive
That's
lady.
very pretty. Yeah, very pretty.
Let's read some of her tweets. Chinese students should be banned from attending all Texas universities. Okay.
Wow.
No more communists. Texas taxpayers should not be subsidizing the next generation of the Communist Chinese Party. It's common sense. CCP members should not have access to our schools.
So she's taken a 15 minutes of fame for COVID-related policies and her stance on them, and now she's gone full anti-China rhetoric. Pretty harsh.
So, here, get ready for that. Click this first link. Wait, before you do.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many foreign Chinese students from China are there in the United States?
How many students that are currently in a college from China?
In an American college.
Without U.S. citizenship.
Without you, they're there on like a college work visa or college visas.
34%.
Of all students?
No.
1 out of every 3?
15%. Oh. Let's see. Chinese students in U.S. colleges.
Where was it at?
25%? Right here?
800,000 active students in college are from China.
Wow. That's almost 1 million.
So she comes out like, you're like, ooh, that's kind of a hot topic.
Whoa.
And then you're like,
yeah, I mean.
So what she's saying is, there's 800,000. So you don't have to pull up the next link, but it's just, I was showing it for 80% of them go back to China. They're done.
Oh, yeah. No, of course. They're not here to stay.
Yeah. The next link.
Oh, you want me to go?
The next link just for a source. 80% of them go back to China. So she's basically, why are we paying for
our enemies to get educated
and take all this technology, and you don't? How many of those people are spies? Come on.
And it's not the solely the technology, but a lot of these probably come in here and start pushing their views.
Agendas.
And hey, you guys, freedom of speech, it's overrated. We don't need freedom of speech. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're telling these young, moldable adults, right? 18 to 26-year-old kids who are young and they're going to college to learn, and they're talking with their friends, and they're really figuring out their viewpoints on the world. And their friend, hey guys, come on. We need to dampen down this freedom of speech thing. This is getting kind of crazy. We don't need freedom of speech.
China is playing 4D chess.
Oh, democracy? We don't need democracy.
You,
where I come from, it's fine. We don't even do that. Our democracy
There's no
runs
homeless people where
There's
I
no
live.
China's so much better.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen the new Joe? I know I already mentioned it once, but the Joe Rogan with the general. You haven't watched it?
I'm like half an hour in.
So you haven't got to where they start talking about this?
Oh, they talk about this?
Oh, they talk about this.
Well, I've heard somewhere there's a percentage of Chinese people, and it was like that the CIA can say these are spies. And it wasn't like of the 800,000. I'm just using random numbers.
Right.
It wasn't like 10 or 100.
It was a decent percentage.
5% of them are spies.
And so he goes into it, and first off, go watch that. If you haven't seen it, it's with the general. I forget his name.
McMaster.
Yeah, something like that. But he was with the Howard Institute.
He used to be the national security advisor.
Yeah, for Trump. And so
he's served 5 presidents.
5 presidents, right? But the last one was with Trump.
Just happened he was
right.
Yeah.
He's very non-political.
He doesn't vote.
No, he doesn't vote. So he's very removed from all of this, or having his biases and stuff. Cares about the country, cares about the rule of law, and the way that when I talk about the elite that don't care about us, he is not that. No, he is a man who truly cares about making this country a better place, and it's powerful to hear him talking. And I'm going to do a segment on that Howard Institute, because the Thomas Sowell, the chick or the guy that Candace Owens is like mentored to, that's where he works. That's his institute as well. And I've seen some videos from the Howard Institute. They're very common sense people, but they go into this China thing, and and he's very pragmatic about it. He's not saying we need to get rid of all Chinese students. He's like, yeah, there's a problem. And we barely do any sort of research on allowing these people to come into the country. We don't do any background checks. We don't do any sort of diving into, okay, well, are your parents part of the Communist Party? Where, where do you come from? What city do you come from?
What you're thinking on this.
Yeah. They don't care.
Say whatever they want to say, really.
You're giving Harvard that money. They don't care. Come on in. Yeah. Come on in. They don't care. And, he makes mention too about like, well, once you get into like postgraduate school, that's where you get into like research and development for the U.S. government. And like, he's like, we're literally having maybe you've got a team of 10 researchers and 3 of them are Chinese nationalists.
Only one needs to be a spy.
They're not citizens working on highly classified research for the U.S. government from, Penn State or something, right? The research department at Penn State is looking into some biochemical weapon thing. And they don't care. They don't do any, and all he said was, we
probably shouldn't have that.
No, he's like, we can have these people, but we need to do the checking. We need to make sure that these people that we let in want to be here and actually want to be here for the right reasons. He's like, it's hard to tell because we don't know if they've got their parents not locked up, but like, hey, if you go to this school and then you don't come back to China, we have your parents. Yeah. We know where your parents are. We know where your family is. You know what I mean? And he's like, bring these Chinese nationalists these Chinese citizens to America, have them come to the greatest institutions in the United States, and then teach them about how great America is and convince them to stay.
Yeah.
We want them. We want smarter people. I want smarter and better people in the United States every single day. We have too many fucking idiots in this country already. Let's bring some of the smartest.
We should send our idiots over there.
Yeah, to there, right? But we should be allowing these people in, but then showing them how great America is and proving them wrong to the point where they want to stay. Come to the United States and become a citizen.
People are so programmed.
I understand
from
that.
Birth.
I've seen some videos of like cameras that they brought into like these Chinese like schools. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. They're programmed.
Freaking crazy. Yeah. Jojo Rabbit stuff.
Jojo
Rabbit is happening in China.
But that's Shelley Luther. Let's move to Sherman. Maybe we get a mail-in ballot, go up there and vote.
I've thought about Sherman before. Sherman's not too far from us. So it's gonna be a big
But it's funny, you see like her tweet come out, you're like, ooh.
Yeah. But then you kind of look at it and you're like
she's kind of onto something.
Kind of right. Same thing with Donald Trump.
You're like,
hey, say it in a proper way.
Yeah.
Don't just tweet out "fuck communism" because that tweet that she said we shouldn't have Chinese students in our school. That's a blanket statement, and someone's gonna take that and say you're racist or whatever.
The article I was reading, they went to a Chinese American guy saying how disappointed he was with that. No, you're an American. Mm-hmm. That's why I hate African American.
Right. It should be American. Just American. You're American. You're not an African American. You're not a Chinese American. You're not a Mexican American. You're an American. If you're coming to this country, be an American and care about this country. You can love that country, but you need to love this one more. You know what I mean? I completely agree. But I would just rewrite that tweet just a little bit. Maybe like,
or just not even have a Twitter.
Maybe like, hey, we should not allow communist influenced Chinese students to overrun our schools. That's a much more nuanced tweet as opposed to we shouldn't have Chinese in our schools.
I think we just found like a company. You send us our tweets, we'll rework them and send them back to you.
Dude, that would be an amazing.
This is what we think you should say.
Could you imagine like if Donald? Do you think anyone talked to him about that? His advisors talked to him about that?
I'm sure somebody said something like
Jared Kushner had to have been like hey, dude,
I don't know, it's his father-in-law.
I know. Well, look how I talk to you. Do you think Jared Kushner and Trump have a better relationship than you and I?
I would just want to have a relationship with Ivanka. Not the fatherly one, the Jared one.
I see how you bypass that question. And
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't know.
I think we're tight.
We're pretty tight.
I think we could fist bump on
microphone. How we doing?
Anyways, you want to close this up?
Yeah, we're done. Right, thank you. Good episode. Follow us.
Hold on.
Comment. We guess you forgot to record.
We didn't.
We didn't record it.
Great episode, Kraft. Great episode.
Ash.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. This was episode 17 of Generational Gap. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate it.
We do.
Yeah. We'll see y'all next week.
Follow us, comment.
Yeah, follow us. Please comment. Talk to us on YouTube, man. If you like how our videos are going, if you like the stuff we're talking about, tell us why you like it. Tell us what you think about the topics that we're talking about.
You have a viewer submission we would like to talk about.
Yeah, hey, viewer submission. If you got something that you want us to cover, send it to us. Comment on YouTube. You can DM us on Instagram or TikTok. Our TikTok is GenGapTalk, and our Instagram is GenGapPics. So yeah, come on, let's build this community up, man. I think we're almost to episode 20, and I really want people to start engaging with us. So thank you guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.